Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is the 10th day of fall today, which is the day of our harvest festival, so we will be attending that today, but we have a lot of content to cover. I've got a few things to squeeze in before we go. The first thing is a sunstone that we're going to get from Taro. And this is for shipping 100 mushrooms through the shipping bin. And shipping 100 sunstones, or shipping 100 mushrooms for the sunstone rather, also unlocks something else over on Mushroom Island. So I'm gonna be going on over there before the festival, and the reason that I'm doing that now is because I am actually planning on causing some shenanigans at today's festival, and I'm going to need something from Mushroom Island in order to be able to do that. So you can see that I've put the chicken outside and it's just in my little tiny enclosure that I have it in. But it's been laying an egg every day, it's been eating outside, it hasn't actually eaten any bird seed since the day I got it. And I'll just bring it in on rainy days. So everything on the farm is going great. My first batch of carrots came in and I've now replaced them with a new batch. So we have lots of time today. I'm gonna go right to Mushroom Island though, because we have a little bit of news over there and a little bit of a tutorial to cover as well. So once you've shipped the 100 mushrooms through the bin, you should get a little cutscene here entitled Ganon's Secret with Chen. Ganon has been acting a bit strange recently. I know I shouldn't, but I was worried and ended up following him. Would you like to help out? Let's be careful so he doesn't notice us. What are you up to? Who's there? Oh, it's just Nick and Chen. What are you doing here, Ganon? I ain't doing nothing. He's got little baby piggies. Or maybe they're not babies, but they sure look small. What on earth are those pigs doing here? Yeah, about them. A relative of mine forced them on me. Eliza'd hate it if I kept him at home, so I got no choice but to keep him here. Here? Are you properly looking after those pigs? It's tough with work, but I come feed him when I've got the time. And what about the rest of the time? Do you just leave them here? Yeah. That's reprehensible. You need to look after them better. It's not like I got a choice. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Why didn't you consult us if you were having this problem? We live together on these islands. We should always help each other out. Yeah, you're right. I do understand why you can't keep them, though. Therefore, why don't you let us take care of them? Good idea. I'm sure you two will keep good care of them. Yeah, I didn't volunteer, but okay. So Chen is going to find someone to adopt one of them, and then of course we get to keep the other one. Same standard protocol as the rest of our pets that we've come across so far. Why don't you take the other one? You're used to dealing with animals anyway. How's about it? Will you take a pig? Thank you very much. I've got 2 pigs here, so take whichever one you want. Can't change your mind after you've chosen, so choose carefully. I took the pink pig last time, but maybe I'll take the black pig this time just to be a little bit different, although I don't really have too much of a preference either way. And I'm gonna name my pig Wilbur. Because we already started naming pets without a theme, I'm not too worried about giving them Final Fantasy character names. I'm just gonna kind of name the pets whatever it is that I want to name them. And I like Wilbur for a pig because that was the name of the pig in Charlotte's Web, which was a book I really enjoyed reading when I was a kid. And then Ganon will give us our tutorial for the pigs as well. You can feed them pet food, but pigs like other kinds of food, so they differ a little bit from our other pets in that aspect. They got their likes and dislikes. They don't like fish, for example. They can pretty much eat anything else, though. Pigs have a great sense of smell, so you could use them to find mushrooms. To do that, release the pig on Mushroom Island. It'll run into the bushes. When it comes out, it'll have a mushroom in its mouth, and it'll be running around like crazy. When you catch the pig, you can take the mushroom. If you don't catch the pig, it will eat the mushroom. Pigs will only find mushrooms once a day. Pigs only search for mushrooms after entering bushes. If you pick up the pig before it enters the bushes, it'll get mad and won't search for mushrooms. Pigs can sometimes find rare mushrooms, which are called truffles, and the pigs do not like to be taken off of Mushroom Island. Probably because they eat the mushrooms here, so careful where you keep them. You could just keep your pig here. Ganon is a master carpenter, so he could build a pig pen for your pig on this island. I never thought about that, Shen. That's a great idea. Sounds good to you? Sounds good to me. Fantastic. Right, I'll build you a pig pen right now then. I'll be done before you blink. And I'll put Wilbur inside it when I'm done. I'll go to find an owner for the other pig now. Take good care of Wilbur, Nick. I will, thank you. The whole reason that I really came to the island, if I'm being honest, was to pick up a poisonous mushroom. Yes, we are going to find a use for that mushroom, finally. A rather nefarious use. Also, I may add, our farmer's gonna be very, very mean today. And since time isn't passing, I guess that I can pick up a couple of more mushrooms. It's actually quite loaded on the island today, but as you can see, my inventory does not have a ton of space currently, which, I mean, what's new? I'm really gonna have to buy that backpack upgrade sooner than later. And because we've already spent so much time on tutorial, I should probably leave and then go over to Meadow Island for the festival as soon as I'm able to. And then you also have Shay here, who I guess was just hanging around witnessing this whole exchange, and he's like, don't worry, I won't kill and eat your pig. It's like, thank you very much. I'm glad that you're not going to make bacon out of my pet pig. So I will kind of go over the ownership of having the pig a little bit later. Like I said, I'm not too worried about it right now, just because I kind of have other things on the agenda. But yeah, Ganon will be able to build your pig its own little house, and we can kind of go over a couple of other little details that weren't mentioned. We have to wait until 10 o'clock for the Harvest Festival to start, so I'll just go around and pick up a couple of things. I did not mean to pick up that weed. That is no good to me at all. As you can see, when I was playing off screen, I did a little bit of mining. I just went ahead and ate some of these indigo herbs to give myself the energy to be able to go down. I didn't get down very far, but I actually did manage to find a decent array of gems, and I've actually put some of them away inside of my house in the cabinet for such a time that I'm ready to befriend the 2 mining sub-villagers. I found some stones that they really like that will work great, not only to get their friendship up, but also to get their gift sunstone as well. Alright, so we're already so far in on video time, so it's kind of a waste of a day for me to go right to Meadow Island right at 10 o'clock, but I don't have a ton of plans today, so it's okay. Now, what I'm going to do before I actually take part in this festival for real is we are going to use that poisonous mushroom. So I'm going to make a save state really quick, because I'm going to want to reload this afterwards. So let's just go ahead and talk to everybody. We can see who's all here. Shay's here, which is nice to see. We have both the kids. We have Pierre is here. Mirabelle's at a festival that she's not judging, which is extremely rare. I hardly ever see her out and about at festivals when she's not judging them, which isn't really cool. You can see here that Julia reached a green heart off screen, and Natalie did as well. So yeah, we've managed to up their hearts a little bit more, which is great. And then we also have Elliot and Taro here, with Felicia being the one to organize the festival. So basically, this festival is just kind of like a big communal stew. You just bring something, you give it to Felicia, and it gets put inside of the pot. And you can bring her anything edible, so fish, crops, mushrooms, and poisonous mushroom, as I mentioned. I do not recommend doing this if you want to have friends, because everybody is going to be very upset with you. But it's quite funny, I must admit, to put the poisonous mushroom in the stew. So I figured I would do that first. We would see how it turns out, and then I will, you know, reload and get the good result from it. Oh man. I take responsibility for the Harvest Festival being such a failure. Oh, poor Felicia. Oh, my stomach hurts. You can see that her heart actually dropped. She went from a green heart to a blue heart. So yeah, villagers do not appreciate being poisoned by their neighbors. Who put the poisonous mushroom in the stew? My tummy hurts. I don't feel so good. What kind of miscreant put a poisonous mushroom in the stew? They are without honor. It wasn't me. Awful. Tastes really bad. No one seems well. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I think I feel sick. And same with Julia. She dropped a whole heart color, which is brutal. I felt sick as soon as I ate it. Who put in the poisonous mushroom? You'll pay for this. I'm kind of feeling dizzy. What happened? So yeah, I just did that mostly for the lulz, because it's just kind of amusing to see, but it's not a very nice thing to do. So let's go ahead and reload. And now it's like nothing ever happened. So go ahead and just speak to everybody again here. and we will do the responsible thing and put something nice into the stew. So if you bring a high quality item, so you bring an A or an S quality item and put it in the stew, you'll get a huge boost of friendship with everybody who is in attendance. Now, I brought this carrot that I saved from my harvest of carrots that I had yesterday. So this is still fairly fresh. It's an A quality item, and hopefully it will be enough to net some good friendship points with everybody here. And usually they will comment on how the stew tastes by the end of it, and that will give you a good idea about how they're feeling about it. So usually, obviously, they have kind of like a bad result. If it's a poisonous mushroom, they have sort of like a neutral, hey, this isn't so bad result, and then there's usually a really good result where they're really praising how delicious it is. I'm glad to see that everyone likes it. Isn't this year's stew great? I want to eat more, it tastes so good. This is superb. You can tell that high quality ingredients were used. So yeah, I think we got the best result possible, and if that's the case, you earn 1,000 friend points with everybody who is here at the festival, which is really nice. That's a couple of days worth of liked gifts, a few days worth of loved gifts, and that even trumps the value that you would get for giving someone their favorite gift, which is really, really helpful. It's delicious. It warmed my very soul. Yum yum, I'm going to eat a lot more. Well, that is a big ass pot of stew, so dig in. This tastes quite good. May I have another helping? It's very good. Takes like home cooking. I think you mean tastes like home cooking. I can't stop eating. It's so good. Delicious. It's so good. I can't get enough. So there you have it. Fun little festival that you can take part in regardless of what stage of the game you're in, which is nice. It does feel good once again to actually be able to take part in some of these festivals. Unfortunately, it's not a situation where we're able to earn ourselves a wonderful. That doesn't help us in that regard, but, you know, it is nice just to kind of hang out with the villagers and score ourselves some additional friendship as well. So now I guess I just have to go out and give a few gifts. I am running pretty low on blueberries here for Natalie. I'm down to my last 4 or 5 here. Natalie's next heart event is not going to take place unless it's raining. So our next rainy day will have to be looking out for her next event. Julia's I should be able to trigger on any sunny day. So I'll just have to pick a day that I have some things to update you guys on and we can watch her event. Lana was not at this festival, but she in fact has a blue heart currently, which doesn't surprise me at all. I figured that that was going to be the case just because of how many fish that I have been able to give her. And I've been giving Sabrina my mining items that I've managed to find. And as you can see, she's quite excited and really likes those. So she's still lagging behind by quite a bit. And she's still at a purple heart. But I've had a couple of really good days of giving her gifts, which has been a nice change. Give Lana her... Oops, sorry. That's gross. Can you imagine how that would smell? Just here. Here's a fish that's been rotting and sitting in my pocket, and I just threw it on your floor. That's kind of a shame, because, I mean, fish are free, technically, but they're kind of a pain to go and catch. And then my last stop will just be the witch princess. I think I'll kind of just skip everybody else today. I don't feel much like socializing. I can afford to skip a day. Oh, hey, and look at that. I got my sunstone back. Remember a couple of videos ago I mentioned that I had to reload the day that I got this sunstone on in a recording? Well, there we go. We got it back. So now my sunstone totals should be back to where they were originally, which is fantastic. I'm not going to forget to save this time. I'm definitely going to save. Because those sunstones are random. You have like a 10% chance of getting that when you take the boat to an island. So those were really the main things, was just covering getting the pig, and we wanted to go to the Harvest Festival, and I wanted to show both of those outcomes because, like I said, it's kind of just funny more than anything. Oh, also, there's a wild dog on our property, so if your dog has a high enough heart level, it should be barking at this dog and scaring it away. And this is also the reason that I have this little barricade up around my chicken, because otherwise the wild dog would be going for my chicken right now and attacking it, and it would stress my chicken out, and my chicken could potentially get quite sick from that. So it's great when your dog can just scare off the dogs entirely, but even without your dog being well trained and being able to scare them off, I've never encountered any sort of negative repercussions from leaving an animal outside in good weather all night, as long as they have some sort of fence or protection or some way to be able to keep themselves safe. One last thing that I should mention, I know this video is getting very long, but the last thing I should mention before we end this video is that if you want to use up all of your stamina and such before you go to the Harvest Festival today, you will have all of your stamina and all of your fullness recovered in full from the Harvest Festival after eating the stew. So that's why my stamina and my fullness are completely full. So you kind of get the day to go about and do your chores and work your butt off, and then you get rewarded with a nice big boost of stamina, and then you get some food to fill your belly. So forgot to mention that, figured it was just worth mentioning. I'm kind of caught up on my chores actually, so I am going to do a couple of things off screen to use a bit of stamina, but for the most part I've been doing things like chopping down branches and hitting stones and the like. So you can see that we have another almost week before our next festival, but I'm sure that I will be back sooner than that with something to talk about. That's it for me. So I hope you enjoyed, hopefully, this little bit of comedic video for a change. And I will do some more updates on the pig and anything else that comes up in the near future. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.